Hello and welcome to the Superintendent's Report. I'm Brendan Jackson for BSTN, and joining me today is Superintendent Tim Saxton. Thanks for being here, Mr. Saxton.
Yeah, you said I was a student. I like that. I'm so young. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be here.
So the 100-year celebration was just this past weekend for the arts, and could you talk about that at all?
Absolutely. What a great night. You know, just we kicked off the night with the elementary choir, and just to see those young kids be part of a celebration in the BPAC, which they don't always get an opportunity to perform in because it's more for our junior high and for our high school. And then probably 20 minutes later, we have the high school choir and the alumni choir. So we go from kids in second and third grade to people that graduated 20, 30 years ago, all sharing a stage and all just celebrating the arts and music. So it was nice to see that wide range, not only in age, but just in the different styles, that whether it was the graphic arts and some of the artworks being displayed from alumni or our students in the cafeteria and in our foyer, all the way to our orchestra, to our jazz band. It was just a very, very impressive night, and it honored 100 years of arts in the Boardman schools.
It was definitely a great night and great to be a part of.
Yeah, it was a night to remember.
Definitely. The school board has voted to place an emergency levy on the ballot in May. What do people need to know about that?
Oh, there's a couple key facts. This emergency levy, like you said, will be on for voter approval in May. It generates $4.9 million. Now, once again, I'll say that it generates $4.9 million because a common metric used to determine generation of funds is called a mill. And sometimes those words, you hear mill, you hear million. So this generates $4.9 million. A lot of people are used to hearing millage, which is a tax term to generate that. 5.8 mils will generate $4.9 million. I don't mean to turn this into a math problem. So it generates $4.9 million. It will cost the average tax or the average homeowner of a $100,000 home just a little bit under $17 a month. That's the other thing people like to know. But that is really to preserve and to maintain what we're doing in Boardman. You saw the arts. The arts are entrenched in the fabric of what we do. I said that night in an interview, it really is part of Boardman's DNA. It's not an add-on. It's part of what we do. And we need to maintain that and preserve that. And that $4.9 million is part of that. State funding doesn't work for Boardman. We're the only cap district in Mahoning County. That could be a whole TV interview in itself. But basically, the state says, in the funding formula, you should get about $13.5 million. But we're only going to give you about a little over $9 million. So they owe us every year about $4 million that they just can't give us. They don't have it. They tell you that. That's why they cap it. So they owe us $4 million every year to properly fund us. Also, the hospital reclassification took $1 million out of our budget this year and about $500,000 going forward. Put all those factors together, and you can see why we're looking to replace that $4.9 million, just to maintain and preserve the excellence we've been doing.
And you said it pretty clearly, but are there any details in it that you wanted to clarify that people might not have caught?
Well, I think that the key is, again, how much cost the homeowner. I know there's some things out there, obviously, when that gets announced, people analyze their situations. One of the things that I heard is, well, you built that beautiful stadium, and now you're asking for money. That stadium was not built on taxpayer money. That was private donations, personal donations, corporate donations. The taxpayers told us back in 2007, we do not want to pay for a stadium, but we needed one. So we solved it a different route. We didn't go to the taxpayers. But the operation of the schools, that's a Boardman. That's a Boardman commitment. That's a Boardman community responsibility that we need to work together to maintain our schools.
Okay, and moving on, a few weeks ago I remember having early dismissal due to an ice storm, which wasn't really precedented to actually have us leave early due to weather rather than come in late. So can you tell me how that process went for you?
Yes, I'm still in recovery mode from about 2 weeks ago when it was ice, it was cold, it was snow. We had some pretty crazy weather there, and then all of a sudden this ice storm was coming at Friday at the end of the day. And obviously we were all hoping can we get a day of instruction in, just a normal day of instruction, and get everyone home safe? But looking at the forecasting, it was going to hit right at dismissal time. This is my 30th year in education. This was only the second time in my career that I've ever been involved in an early dismissal. We have 2-hour delays, as you're aware of, plenty of those. But back when I was a teacher up in Cleveland, up in the snow belt, this is the only other time that I've ever seen that done. But it needed to be done. The storm hit as predicted. We got kids home safely. We were able to maintain and preserve a good, solid day of instruction. But it's talking to some of the people that have been leaders of Boardman schools in the past. They can't remember a 2-hour early dismissal ever being done at Boardman. So that might have been a first. But I give credit to the principals, our parents, and our students. It was a very smooth day. We got the word out early and often. Parents were very cooperative. They understood, and our goal was to get kids home safely before the event hit, and it worked. So I just want to thank the community. I want to thank our principals, and I know our students. I'm sure some of them are pretty happy to be home 2 hours early, but and some are probably sad because they missed some instruction, but it worked.
And along with winter weather, there's also our winter sports, and the Spartans are doing pretty well this year. Do you want to give us a good recap of that?
Absolutely. It's hard to believe that we're definitely past the midpoint, and as we start to approach February, it actually starts to become tournament season. And the seniors start to wrap up their regular season, as evidenced by just the other day we were down at the pool YSU for senior night for the swimmers, and the other senior nights will be held pretty soon here. Swimmers, the swim team, both boys and girls, once again, that just, I always say to Coach O'Halloran, he doesn't rebuild, he reloads. It's the 4th year in a row the boys and girls won the conference championship, and they're looking forward to making a big impact as we approach the tournament and get some kids down to the state. So kudos out to the swim team. Basketball teams, boys and girls, both made it to pretty far in the playoffs this year. We're looking to have a stronger second half to make a run towards the tournament. We've won some good games. We've lost some tough ones. Some great players out there. I know those girls and the guys have been battling, and they're exciting to watch. Wrestling, same thing. We got some potential to get some kids down to state. And bowling. Bowling's another program. That's one of our one of 2 state championship teams in Boardman. They're also having a great year. So all of them looking forward to a strong tournament season.
Okay, and is there anything else that you'd like to talk about today?
I would say just a friendly reminder to our community, especially any young parents that are tuning in. March 8th is our kindergarten registration. Typically we hold it in February, but conference has been moved to March. So March 8th, they register at the local elementary. It's on our website, great information on there. So if they want more information, go to the website. If that doesn't give them the information, I'd say call your building principal or call central office. We'll be more than happy to guide you to the right spot.
Thank you again, Mr. Saxon, for being here. We want to remind viewers that the next school board meeting is Monday, February 26th at West Boulevard Elementary School. I'm Brandon Jackson for BSTN. Have a great day.